My name's Joey Farrell, and I'm 22. I love my truck. I love my dog. You know, I just like to see other people smile.
He's like no one you ever met before. Heart of gold, and as big as the great outdoors, biggest smile I've ever seen, and the toughest little kid I ever met.
I had a cancerous brain tumor. They call it medulloblastoma. I ended up waking up in the hospital and I saw my dad and he said, "Hey buddy, you just had major brain surgery and they took out a brain tumor and it was cancerous." In high school, before I got sick, I was basically like a floater, you know? I loved seeing everybody and having good conversations with everybody, and you know, I didn't really care what people thought of me. As long as other people were smiling and having a good time, that's all that really mattered. I made it to the beginning of my junior year in high school. When I got sick, they told me that I couldn't go to school anymore. I was having a sinus infection in October. I went to the doctor and they were like, "Yeah, you got a sinus infection here, take this, it'll clear you up." It kind of helped a little bit, but I still was having headaches. I was getting sick because of postnasal drip. So we went back to the doctor in December and I saw my doctor, and he was the only guy who actually really looked at me. He was like, "Blow your nose, I want to see what's happening." And he said, "I think you have a sinus infection and allergies, so I'm going to order blood work so we can see how bad your allergies are." So I went to work with my dad. We went to McDonald's for lunch. I ate my burger and got sick. My sister, who ate at the same McDonald's, got food poisoning, so we came home. She was getting sick downstairs. I had a terrible headache, so I went upstairs and thought I would get a cold shower. I needed something to work. I looked in the mirror and I didn't like see anything in my eyes, but I lost my balance and fell over. From here on out, this is what they told me. They said, "We walked into the ER, we sat down, and you just started leaning up against me like you were cold." So my dad said, "Hold on, let me put my arm around you." And I just started to shake really bad. And they said I was having a seizure. So they brought me back and started asking me all these questions like, "What's your sister's name?" I knew it in my head, but I couldn't speak. So then they were like, "All right, there's something wrong."
He wound up having a CAT scan, at which time they found a mass on his brain, and then they had to do an MRI, and he was in an MRI machine for 5.5 hours. And that was on a Wednesday. And Thursday morning at 7:30, there's a neurosurgeon in our room telling us that there's a tumor and it has to come out. Then by 4:30 that afternoon, we were told that he had a very rare form of brain cancer called medulloblastoma.
I remember floating out of my body and like looking back at the bed and seeing me laying there and my dad laying on the side of the bed. I saw somebody saying, "Hey, come this way, come this way." And I was like, no, that's not happening. Sorry, not yet. Cancer, it's changed my outlook on life a lot. I remember being in 8th grade going, I wanted to be a Marine. People look at like Batman as their superhero, or they look at Superman as their superhero. Well, I looked at the Marines as my superhero. And then I found out that I was completely disqualified from ever enlisting in any branch of the military. Not because I had just cancer, and not because it was just a brain tumor, but because it was a cancerous brain tumor. So I was basically wondering for 1.5 years what to do with my life, because that's all I ever wanted to do. I never thought of anything else. And then I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll go to school and get a diploma in automotive technology.
Words cannot describe how proud we are of Joey. Through everything he's been through his entire life, and that cancer, and him not being able to fulfill his dream of becoming a Marine, you know what, he still moved forward. He graduated from college, something people thought he was never going to be able to do. Well, he did, and he's not a quitter. And I didn't raise my kids to be quitters, and I'm very proud that they're not, and that they fight for what they want and never give up.
I have good days and bad days, but you gotta remember that the truck of life is gonna get flat tires, and it's gonna hit speed bumps, and crap's gonna break. But it's still gonna get you to where you're going.
I think he summed it up best when a doctor said to him, you know, you had a tumor and surgery, and it's cancerous, and you're gonna go through a lot of treatments. What do you think of all that? And Joey just looked him straight in the face and said, hey, I go hard.
I always see something positive. Even on a cloudy day, we can still find the sunshine, you know? Every day after beating cancer is the best day of my life. You know, I have my truck, I have my Harley, I have my dad, I have my family, I have my dog. It's a pretty good day.